March Madness 2025, the Sweet 16 Showdown, a college basketball epic for the ages. Prologue. The madness begins. The NCAA tournament is more than just basketball, it's a cultural phenomenon. A 3-week roller coaster of buzzer beaters, Cinderella stories, and heartbreak. And in 2025, the Sweet 16 delivered one of the most electrifying nights in March Madness history. For heavyweight programs BYU, Alabama, Duke, and Houston clashed in a battle of contrasting styles, future NBA talent, and coaching genius. This wasn't just basketball. This was war on the hardwood. Chapter 1, BYU versus Alabama, the underdog's revenge. The setup, a clash of identities. BYU, the feel-good story of the tournament, entered the Sweet 16 as the last remaining mid-major hope. Led by Mark Pope's high IQ offense and a roster full of overlooked gems, the Cougars played with a chip on their shoulder. Alabama, meanwhile, was Nate Oates' speed and space juggernaut, a team built on three-point barrages and relentless transition offense. First half, BYU's surgical precision from the opening tip. BYU executed their game plan to perfection. Their motion offense carved up Alabama's defense with backdoor cuts and pinpoint passing. Dallin Hall, the Cougars' floor general, controlled the tempo like a seasoned NFL quarterback, dishing out assists while keeping Alabama's guards in check. But the real story was Fousseyni Traore, BYU's bruising big man. He bullied Alabama's front court, scoring 14 first-half points on a mix of post moves and mid-range jumpers. At halftime, BYU led 40-36, and the Crimson Tide looked rattled. Second half, Alabama's fury unleashed. Then came the storm. Alabama opened the second half with a 14-2 run, fueled by Mark Sears' unconscious shooting. The senior guard, a walking bucket, drained 3 straight threes, silencing the pro-BYU crowd. Suddenly, the Tide were up 50-44, and the game looked like it was slipping away. But BYU refused to die. The final 5 minutes, a March classic, with 3:30 left, Alabama led 70-68. Then, Jaxson Robinson, BYU's microwave scorer, caught fire. A step-back three, a driving and one, a clutch steal and dunk. In 90 seconds, he single-handedly gave BYU a 75-70 for lead. The final minute was pure chaos. 0:48, Sears hits a floating layup to put Alabama up 76-75. 0:22, Hall answers with a cold-blooded pull-up jumper. 77-76 BYU. 0:08, Alabama's Darren Stevenson gets fouled on a putback attempt. He misses the first free throw, makes the second. 77-77. Overtime. The heartbreak. In OT, Alabama's athleticism took over. Rylan Griffin attacked the rim at will, and BYU's legs finally gave out. Final score, Alabama 88, BYU 82. A brutal end for the Cougars, but a thrilling win for the Tide. Why it mattered. BYU proved mid-majors belong on the big stage. Alabama survived, but their defense remains a concern. NBA scouts left buzzing about Sears and Robinson. Chapter 2, Duke versus Houston, the Blue Blood versus the Bullies, the setup, a battle of titans. Duke, the gold standard of college basketball, faced Houston, Kelvin Sampson's defensive nightmare. The Blue Devils had future lottery picks Cooper Flagg, Common Maluak. The Cougars had grown men who played like their lives depended on it. First half, Houston's defense dominates. Houston's no-middle defense suffocated Duke early. Flagg, the one recruit in the nation, was held to 4 points in the first half. Meanwhile, Jamal Head, Houston's pitbull point guard, harassed Duke's guards into 7 turnovers. At halftime, Houston led 30-28, and Duke looked lost. Second half, the Flagg awakening. Then, history happened. Flagg, the 6'9" Phenom, took over. A monster dunk, a block leading to a transition three, a step-back dagger with 1:12 left to put Duke up 63-61. The arena erupted, but Houston doesn't quit. The final sequence, March at its best. 0:45, Head draws a foul and sinks both free throws. 63-63, 0:22. Flagg misses a fadeaway, but Maluak tips it in. 65-63 Duke. 0:08, Houston's L.J. Cryer launches a deep three, swish. 66-65 Houston. 0:03, Duke's Tyrese Proctor drives and gets fouled. He makes the first, misses the second. 66-66, double overtime. The legend of Flagg. Into OT, Flagg dropped 8 points, including the game-winning putback dunk at the buzzer. Final score, Duke 78, Houston 76. An instant classic. Why it mattered? Flagg announced himself as a superstar. Houston proved defense still wins in March. The game had 5 lead changes in the final minute. Final thoughts. What's next? The Sweet 16 gave us everything. A Cinderella story, BYU pushing the Giant to the brink. A future no. One-pick Flagg delivering a legendary performance. A defensive masterclass Houston versus offensive firepower Duke. The game's decided by a total of 8 points. The Elite Eight awaits, and if this was any indication, we're in for an all-time finish.